Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. We're taking a look at Dogecoin. Got a lot of requests for this one recently. I want to make sure that we help understand, what's going to happen next and essentially just redraw out some Fibonacci retracement levels, support and resistances, and kind of identify that the regular market is down. Right, so it's terrible. Right, so the regular market's not looking so good. Bitcoin's a little bit on the struggle bus, albeit not as bad as it should be, which is nice. Coins like Doge and Terra Classic are starting to, trying to take off. So it's interesting how the market capitalization is coming away from those and coming into coins like this. Either way, let's go ahead and take a look at that here. And if you are new to the channel, just want to remind you, thanks for watching, of course, but if you want to become a better trader too and join my community, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link down below. We all learn and grow together. It's a fantastic experience. I send out trade signals, and we also have just really awesome, amazing traders in our community. So it's cool that everyone kind of bands together and it kind of just works on the same common goal of helping each other out. We got a 33% profit in 24 hours for Bitcoin, a most recent trade, and as well as 60% for the Ethereum trade. That trade is still open, of course, because we haven't moved down to our break-even point yet. So again, 24 hours, a decent percentage there, so awesome stuff in that regard. And we're all using Bitget as well. Best exchange in the world. Be sure to use the link in the description below if you want a $10,000 prize pool monthly or have access to that. It's really just a matter of profit and loss ratio and trading volume. It's simple. So again, just don't change anything at all. Just do what you normally do, but it's all available on Bitget. And if you are in the States, you will need a VPN for any leverage. You get 3 extra months free with my recent partnership with Express. Okay, so be sure to check that out. Absolutely an awesome opportunity. So here's the thing with Dogecoin. We can see some pretty significant support levels here. If you see, the price action has pretty much wicked down 3 or 4 times to this level here at about 7 cents, almost just say 7.1. So 7.1 cents is effectively a support level that we've seen here hit numerous times. So we can kind of expect the price to stay in that range. There is possibility of it going further down, and if so, we'll have to deal with it when we get there. But for the moment, we can expect the price action to hold in place because it's retraced fairly significant. We take a look at this retracement. Let's see how much of an overextension there is. We've been in extreme overtime for days. Okay, so it keeps going down when it shouldn't. Okay, and what I mean by that is typically when you see a 9 on TD sequential, you see it overextended state and it turns itself around. All right, basically what TD sequential is doing is taking every candlestick and counting from every fourth previous candlestick and counting up from there. Once you hit a 9, it's really just telling us that we're overextended and the price will likely change direction. It did obviously prep back here as well. You can see it came all the way down to another 9. Then it went sideways for some time and back down to an 8. Up to another 9, turns itself around, down to a 9. So it's like literally hitting all these overextended states consistently over the last couple of months. However, the most recent time frame, we see that extreme overextension to the downside. Okay, so again, nothing wrong with that per se. The likelihood of the price action bouncing up from here just continues to get higher, okay, because of that. So that being said, we're overextended to the downside. We can see RSI at 30 as well, or at least most recently at 30. It bounced twice off that level. And if we look at Doge's history, it's rare for it to come below 30. There's just a couple of random occurrences where it comes below 30, but for the most part, it'll come down to that level and effectively bounce or continue higher. Okay, so again, no guarantees it's just going to shoot up from here, but I think the likelihood of it increasing in the relative near future makes a lot more sense than decreasing. Okay, again, just based on the support level and a handful of other factors, we are starting to lose momentum here as well on the MACD. So I would generally summarize that the daily looks fairly positive. Okay, again, it doesn't look great if you just look at all the candlesticks, but if you look at everything else kind of like in between the lines, then I think we're looking pretty decent. We're also trending right above the 200-day set moving average, or at that level. Another key level support. Let's go ahead and draw out some Fibonacci retracement levels and kind of go from there. And there's 2 different schools of thought here. I get this question a lot. Where do I draw out my Fibonacci retracement levels? So it depends on your trading style. If you're more of a swing trader, larger time frames like this makes more sense because of the simple fact that it's going to give you more accurate results, right? And what I mean by accurate is it gives you strong support and resistance levels. You can see here that this is obviously a resistance level there at exactly 8 cents. Okay, it's no coincidence. Those things happen quite frequently in trading. That being said, if you were just say to trade smaller time frames and you're just trying to work within this channel, then you might want to consider putting out some Fibonacci retracement levels like this to kind of see that it's still working within these ranges. Okay, so again, I prefer to use larger time frames just because I'm more swing trade related. That's more my trading style. If you're a day trader, perhaps consider a smaller time frame. All right, so let's take a look at the 4 hour and kind of see. Once again, we're getting rejected by 8 cents pretty frequently. We got 50 on the RSI kind of hovering right here in the range of about 7.7, but bottom line is when we're underneath 50 on the RSI, we're still considered bearish. But the cool thing is we have higher lows here that are being established and tentative higher highs, right? So as long as we can continue that behavior and eventually break over 8 cents, then we'll be in a case in point where we're going to be in a much better situation. We do have still enough momentum here in the most recent past to continue this trend. So overall, the 4-hour looks fairly favorable. Let's see if there's any overextension. Probably not, which we can see obviously another overextension to the downside previously. We've got 2 nines in a row. That does also speak to us, telling us that, hey, the larger the time frame, the more consistency you have in these nines here for TD sequential, the more likely it is to continue the other direction. Okay, so again, we're just stacking the odds here in our favor. The more it comes down to a 9, the more likely it is to recover. So in that case, we're at 6 right now. So we should see 2 or 3 hours of continuation perhaps, and then it could either go up or down. I know that's not quite what you're looking for, but that's just the way trading goes. It can literally go either way. That's why you want to wait for confirmation and ensure that we break through 8 cents, I would say, as a confirming factor that we're actually on the right side of the tracks. Right now, we're kind of like in that strange area. And let's actually see if we can identify this on the hourly, because I'm willing to guess that we're kind of in a strange place with the cloud here. And good news is we're above the cloud. Actually, that's very good. I was expecting to be within. And the fact that we have a conversion line above the baseline is excellent. So, for the most part, we got some bullish signs here, but it doesn't necessarily mean you just want to just take a long position right now willy-nilly. It does tell you, though, that if you were to take a long position, you're more likely to see further upside than downside based on this being a support level. We have the momentum for the conversion line, and the lagging span is free and clear price action, really just telling us here that if you have a long position open, you want to keep it open. All right. So simply put, the hourly looks mostly good. Let's go ahead and take a look here, see if there's any overextension, which it really isn't. We obviously had one down to the downside here and it recovered. So you see this consistency, right? See, every time you hit a 9, the price pulls back. It's just one of those inevitability things where you can only go so far in one direction without it being overextended. Okay, and a lot of trading, good traders, myself included, trade off of overextensions and things that are oversold and overbought. So that's why a lot of times being patient and waiting for those signals is important, because jumping in too early or too late obviously can really get you pretty well wrecked. You're better off identifying a pattern and figuring out which direction the coin is going and kind of adhering to that. The overall sentiment here is that the price is moving down on the daily. Okay, we get that. But it's also overextended, and a lot of smaller time frames are telling us there's a reason for this, and the likelihood of the pullback makes more sense. Higher lows, higher highs are fairly consistent on most time frames right now, and I think we are and should expect, I would say, 8 cents to be retested in the relative near future. It seems more likely the price is going to go up than down from here. That's just kind of what it looks like. Again, I've been wrong plenty of times in my life. Trading is all about being wrong and learning from that, though, right? So, I didn't get where I'm at here 17 years later, fully self-sufficient on, trading just, fairly inconsistently by being very consistent with my trading style. So it's an interesting thing the way that it works, but I can tell you that it's absolutely within your grasp. Totally something you can do. You just got to make sure to work within yourself, because if you're working against yourself with emotional trading, things like that, then you're doing it wrong. And those are things I teach in my trading academy, so be sure to check that out. Again, cryptocash.tech is a site, and obviously if you want to become a better trader, feel free to go ahead and join. I would recommend too, of course, before year end or before mid-January, because we're going to have a new website reveal, and when that comes out, the price of our membership is going to increase based off demand. So in that sense, lock in your rates. If you're currently a member, your rate will never change. Just leave it the way it is. But obviously register now before the end of the year. You'll have more opportunities than newer members later. Just some friendly advice there. Check that out in your own time. Again, thank you so much for joining me here. That is kind of where we're at. Hopefully you learned something. Of course, if you did, comment below, etc. Otherwise, I look forward to working with you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.